Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a video about Westworld. Some of you might have never heard about it. If you haven't, then keep watching because I really hope this makes you want to watch it. If you watch it, then hopefully you can share my excitement and my love towards it. And if you tried watching it and you didn't like it straight away, one, why? Two, please give it another chance because it's amazing. I feel like it's become my favorite TV show of all time. I really love it, and I think it gives you so much. It's amazing in all levels. It's not just the cinematography, it's also the music, it's the characters, it's the storylines, it's the humanity within it. It's just all the different twists and things you don't expect. I really think it has everything, and even though it's just, not just, but even though you might categorize it as science fiction, but it's just everything in one, and I think it deserves a lot of love, and that's why I'm doing it. This video might have some spoilers, I don't know yet because I don't know what I'm gonna say, but if I have spoilers I will put it on the screen just so you can skip. I'm gonna try to differentiate spoilers from season 1 and season 2 just in case you haven't seen season 2 but you've seen season 1. You can skip ahead and all that stuff just so you don't get the spoilers, and everyone can basically watch it, hopefully. I'm gonna start just with the basic premise of the show for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't heard about it. It's an HBO show, so it's only in the UK, it's only available on HBO or through Sky. I mean, it's shown on the same channel as Game of Thrones, so it is just as difficult to watch it in the sense that it's not widely available. It's not on Netflix, it's not on Hulu, it's not on Amazon, it's not on YouTube, it's not on the normal platforms that you would watch things on. I do want to say I am missing the season finale at the moment. That is tonight, so maybe I should have filmed this tomorrow or next week, but I really wanted to film it today. But yeah, I do want to say I am missing season 2 episode 10 because it hasn't aired yet. If you don't know what Westworld is about, Westworld is basically a theme park, an enclosed area, if you want to say, within the regular world, basically, where people have created this company that run it, have created, especially the main founder and the co-founder, they create an AI entity, if you want to say, basically robots that can perform different actions, and those robots live in Westworld. People from outside the world, called guests, and the robots are the hosts, basically interact with each other in the park. Guests can interact with other guests and the host, and same for the host. They can interact with everyone. So basically hosts are created with code, and that code dictates what they can do, what they can't do. It also gives them a bit of improvisation, so it's not the same every single time. It is based in the future, obviously, and it is very advanced. So they look human, and if you didn't interact with them or saw some of the little behavior things that they have, you wouldn't really know that they're robots, basically. You would just think that they're humans. These people that go to this Westworld park, if you want to say, basically can live whatever dreams or crazy ideas they have in their mind. They can go and kill the hosts and just live through that if you want to go and kill people. It is based on like a Western theme, if you want to say. That's why it's called Westworld. And yeah, if they want to go and kill, they can kill, then the hosts go back to the factory basically and get remade and then put back as if nothing happened. These people that go there just interact with them in that sort of way, and they're obviously in the factory, in the offices, they're checked to see if they don't remember what's happened, and they're checked just to make sure that they're running the way they should be running. You can see what some of the things that might happen, and that's basically the premise. That's what I want to say up front. But there's obviously so many characters, and I feel like I want to sort of make a video for every character because I love them so much. There's just so many characters that are just so well made. There's so many things that just happen in the show, and one of the things that I love the most about it is that even though all the main characters, or most of them, not all of them, but most of the main characters are the hosts, and you know they're not real, you know they're robots, but there's a humanity to them that it's sometimes even more human than the guests. And I think it's really interesting. I'm quite interested in behaviors, and behavioral psychology is one thing that I'm really interested in, and mostly how we as a society have our ideas of what is normal and what isn't normal. So when you see a host, you will be able to tell what's normal and what's not based on what your perception of it is. There's some hosts, and this is a spoiler from season 1. One of my favorite characters is Bernard. I love Bernard so much. I feel like there's so many characters that are really good, and there's so many characters that have had twists in the past. When we found out the identity of the Man in Black, I think that's probably the biggest twist of the show, or the biggest twist in the sense that they tried to make it seem like the biggest twist. But to me, the most important twist on what it really means was Bernard being a host. That scene, I think it's my favorite scene from both seasons, when he's in that house, and I can't remember who he's with. Is he with Ford, or can't remember who he's with. But there's that one scene when they're like, what's behind that door? And is he with, no, he's with that lady, isn't it? Anyway, when he goes, what door? And he's looking straight at it, and you're like, no, he is a host. And to me, it's not, you know, there were people on Reddit and other places saying, yeah, Bernard's a host, this person's also a host. I feel like at this point, there's a thread on Reddit about everyone being a host. Yeah, there are things that you might have expected and things that you might have not expected, but I think it's the most important one, because at that point, for them, and I'm not saying for the audience, but for that world, Bernard was someone who they all thought was human. No one really in their world questioned Bernard's humanity. In season 1, we never saw him glitch. We never saw him struggle with things or looking at things. We actually did when he looked at that picture of Ford and the other founder, and he wasn't in it. But at that point, you didn't really realize that's what was happening. But we didn't really see him glitch. We didn't see him get hurt and then be put back into the world. We just thought he was human, and so did everyone else in the world except for Ford, obviously. And I just think it meant so much when you realized that any host can basically pass as human at that point, and they've obviously struggled with that and played with that idea in season 2 with the Delos guy trying to become immortal in a way, and struggle with that immortality and that just having to repeat the same things over and over again, that what they call it, the fidelity test. It becomes so real in season 2 when it's more of a plot and how they're trying to make them just look human, like completely human. And you do see humanity in all of them, especially I want to say Maeve. Maeve and her daughter is one of the biggest things that happens as well, and it is quite human, but you do see Maeve die and come back, and do things that are just host things, like in season 2 when she gets that ability to just, you know, break through the network and talk to other hosts and do all that stuff. You see her humanity, but you do see the other side, and for Bernard in season 1, you just didn't see the host side until the very end of it. You just didn't see it, and I think that's really, like, important for the show, to know that there's someone out there who's done it in a way and just become basically human. They've played with it in season 2 and made him struggle with it a bit more. I think that was not a flaw, because I don't think it's a flaw, but it's one thing that if they were gonna play around with how difficult it is to bring immortality to the guests or to anyone really in the company or anything like that, I think the fact that Bernard didn't really have any issues in season 1 was a bit of a struggle for that plot line, so they did need to make him glitch, to make him not remember things, to make him not realize what timeline he's in and all that stuff. But I really, really love how it's just about humanity, and how even the hosts just have other personalities, even though they've tried to make them a certain way, and they do have that, you know, within them. And I feel like at the end of the day, their personalities are mostly what they were made to be, but they all have that sort of bit more that just makes them a bit human. And it's kind of like real life in a way. If you're born in a certain society or a certain situation, a certain culture, and that's engraved in you, but you do have that bit of personality in a way, you have that bit of freedom in a way to break that mold and be a bit more. And you're always going to have that culture and that background within you, but you can be a bit more, and I think that plays around with it a bit in the show, and I love that. And I love that it's about each one of their personalities and their stories and what they want and what they don't and what they're gonna do to get what they want. At the end of season 1, with Maeve deciding to go and find her daughter even though the code said go and leave the park, I think that means a lot. Like, what are you willing to do to leave your background behind and do something that you really want to do, and how do you break that mold? In the show, it's a bit more important when you can see that a robot can break the code and do whatever they want to do. And it is about how if AI can become human in a way, if they can break that test and basically perform actions as a human would. I think the show has so many layers, not just with the twists and things. Man in Black, come on, he's so complicated as a person. You see him grow. You see him from, even though you don't realize at the beginning, you see him go from like his early 30s maybe, late 20s, early 30s, until he's like really old. And I don't know what's gonna happen with the Man in Black. The last episode that I saw, season 2, episode 9, big spoiler here, but at the end of it, he's trying to basically cut his arm open to see if he's human or he's a host. It's just so complicated, and I do think he is human, but it's crazy to think that if, you know, a host can feel like it's human, but at the same time a human can react as a host sometimes and just become so involved in that world and so crazy about it and just forget what reality really is, to the point that you think you're not real, to the point that you think your actions are not going to count because it's not real anymore, and you don't really know what part of the world is real, what part is fake, and you don't really want to take the consequences of your actions. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to, I think personally, in that scene, he's hoping to be a host, so his actions don't have any consequences, so he can justify his behavior. But I think he's gonna find out he really is a human, and he's really done some really, really bad things, and he's made really bad decisions, and he's hurt emotionally and physically everyone in his life, everyone that he cared about at one point. I think that's huge for the Man in Black. I think that's huge for the show, and I don't know what they're gonna do for season 3, but I am very, very excited. I don't know which characters are going to be alive at the end of next episode. I don't know who's gonna come back and who isn't. What's happening with Teddy? I mean, there was that scene with the flood, which Teddy Flood, that's his last name, so it's not really a flood, but the lake, when Teddy was in there and he was basically dead, and then season 2, episode 9, he killed himself, and there's that connection with the Man in Black and Dolores, who I haven't mentioned in this video, but she's huge as well. There's that connection with both the Man in Black and Dolores. They don't really want to accept who they are. They've hurt the people in their lives because they're trying to be in control of everything. And they're both, in a way, just acting out of rebellion to Ford, in a way, but at the same time they're still following what Ford would have done, and they're still following his actions and his orders, in a way. I feel like it's really weird. There's that parallel with Men in Black and Dolores. They're both basically killed, in a way, the person they loved the most in their life. They've ruined everything. They've made everything so much more complicated because they're trying to reach that beyond point, valley beyond, the door, whatever they're trying to reach for themselves. It's just, you know, to them it's a challenge, it's a game, it's something they have to get to, and they've forgotten everything else. Both as a host, both as a human, they've forgotten what they really had to do. They've forgotten who they are. The Man in Black has forgotten he's human, Dolores has forgotten she's a host, and they're both, you know, trying to do the opposite, and it's just crazy and so intense, and I love it, and I'm living for it, and yeah, that's why this video is happening. If you guys have made it to this point, please let me know. I don't think any of you have, but that's fine. I just wanted to talk about it. So yeah, I do want to make videos on every character because I love them, and I just want to talk about them and just have them as if they were real people and real characters with their personalities, and I love them so much, and I love Westworld so much. If you've made it to this point and you do want to see that, please let me know. But I really hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you want to see more Westworld or TV show videos, let me know. Would love to do it. And yeah, I will see you guys later with another video. Bye!